It's Christmas. It really does feel like Christmas in August. What's going on? Because look at that red and green. Red is the operative color right here. We have a red across the markets, and that means big opportunities, not only for long positions for options chain, but for you making some tendies. So what's going on? We're going to spend a little bit of time right here. Yours truly and Professor Meatball. My name is Andrew. I'm a data scientist here in Silicon Valley, and we are going to talk about what happened in the stock market, the news that you need to cover for the day, and how exactly can you profit from an event very similar to this that happened a few year and a half ago, a few months ago, I want to say. Awkward amount of time to say a few X, Y, and Z of, but this is what happened during, the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic, and the people that bought the dip then, including yours truly, 50% up from there. That's across the market. So we're going to tell you exactly how to navigate that. But first, let me say hello to Steven Jackson. We got Star Guardian. We got Cruel Works. We got Eli. Jean-Luc Fritzen. We got Aimer. We have Mr. Makita Packout. Hey, Moon Platoon, says Jezebel. Patrick Flanagan. Carlos Del Valle. Nevada Kid 99. It's gonna be real embarrassing when you see my chart. Here, Meatball, of course. Meatball, you good? Can I enter my verification? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you see my shares, and they haven't been touched. They're right there. All of those shares right there. Can't touch them. B Showtime says, can you talk about Palantir news? They predicted a Black Swan event and bought 50 mil in gold. Let's talk about that. PLTR. Scratch your ear. Do a scratch. Because the point of the battle is that if you can predict or surmise something like this, Palantir dropping on the day massively in the after hours, had 25.85 earlier, and then hit again at 25.64. Okay. Drop that as a critical resistance line. People want a treat. Let's see. What do we got here? We got rainbow, and we got this lemon treat that I have been saving for the squeeze itself. So if you guys wouldn't mind, the 200 of you in here need to smash that like to get more, up to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people in here by clicking that rainbow. Oh, the like button in the description, as well as the fact that you guys can also comment in the chat to talk to yours truly, ask a couple questions about the market. We're looking at Palantir, and then we're going to take a look at AMC. It's why it's 5.5% down today. But put your fingers on the button at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Good boy. There you go. Oh, T Sulfur is here as well. Good morning. All right, let me put those treats right there. A little kibble for Andrew in the morning. Patrick Flanagan, yes. WDLF says, holy crap, what's next? That's a stock that we'll put on the left hand side. Oh, it's a penny stock. This is a penny stock. Up 58%. So watch out about penny stocks. Penny stocks oftentimes are very much like altcoins. Very few people have something to gain. And if they're not telling you the whole story, they're not telling you any amount of the story at all. Good to see you, Morphin Shapes. What's up, Jens Gemmel? Macy's is ripping. See, look, this is so many stocks that you guys wanted to talk about at the same time. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Somebody wants treats. Somebody loves to eat. Everybody, I'll give you a treat. I'll give you this. There you go. Okay, now you feel better. Macy's is ripping. Can we get a short squeeze here? Ortex is at 13%. Data looks good. What are your opinion on the technicals? Let's take a look at Macy's in the short interest right here. Can I take a look at the NASDAQ, or is it going to be on NYSE? Right here is Ortex. This is the short interest for AMC right now, right around the 18.3%. And then we move over to Macy's, M-A-C-Y. Whoops, actually, I'm not sure what it is. What's up, Ben Bread? What is it? Ben Bread Dough. Short interest in AMC right here in front of you, 18.3%. M-A-C-Y, what is that? Oh, it's just M. It's just M. New York Stock Exchange, I'm imagining. Yep, there it is. Macy's short interest at 13.5. Okay, that's substantial. That's substantial. That's around what Volkswagen needed in 2008, all them years ago. That's currently what Macy's short interest is. We have AMC's as well right here. An additional 2%, which makes sense. We've had AMC's price action dip. More people are going to be jumping on that short interest bandwagon. It's that boat. Holy crap, what's next is, hey, Andrew. Meatball looks older. Celebrated his birthday right after mine. Had a beer for him. LOL. Happy birthday. Cake's in the chat. Love to hear that. Hamilton Smith from Bear, Delaware in the house. Very cool. I should start my introductions like that. Andrew Moe from the Silicon Valley in the house. Bond of the Deer, good to be here. What's going on? Due to margin requirement increase on September 1st, are you expecting a drop-off in cryptocurrency prices? That's the news that you guys wouldn't get. The rapid-fire news that people are trying to be able to provide you right away. I think the liquidity is going to be something that is going to affect all of the, not only crypto markets overall. I think a lot of people are just trying to run right now for the hills, which ultimately is going to end you with a chafe and cardio you haven't been able to do in a while. When you're running for the hills, you're likely going to have to know which direction to run. And a lot of times people don't know which one. Ace is up 15% with 13.5% short interest. Ethereum at 3,000, Bitcoin at 45, Doge at 30 cents. Those of you who were able to turn around Doge earlier last week, that's crazy. AMD currently at 104, 1% up. That's Nvidia up 1.6%. INMD up 4.5%. What are some big losers today? Carnival down 4%. ALYI down 7.2%. LIZI down 3.5%. Senseonics up 4.5% though. Alpha's down 11%. Market is bleeding all over. Let's take a look at like a flagship like Apple. AAPL, blue chip stocks. Okay, still holding tight. 145.98. All right, it's still staying in that cycle, trading that sideways. AMC caught a bounce just now in the last 5 1-minute candles, 34.51 on its way up to 35.03. What up? What's up, Mike Diesel? Mike X? Hello, Universus Farima. How's it going? Good to hear from you, Farima. Okay, so we're looking at Macy's right now with its mad getaway, 18.79 to 21.18. Let's see if we can find a little bit of news here. CEO Jeff Jeanette sees divide. Oh, okay, this is Macy's CEO talking about the Delta variant. Is this gonna be relevant? Macy's said Thursdays that consumers across the country are behaving differently dependent on where they live and their attitudes toward COVID. Okay, is this going to be an explanation of its crazy rip? I don't think so. I don't think so, but let's take a quick listen. Walmart earnings top estimates see strong school and grocery sales. Back to school means different things for a lot of people. Looks like some companies are benefiting.
Just hitting the wires, and I like that revenue number, Courtney. There must be is there an adjusted EPS? Because the first thing they put looks like it would be below, but is there an adjusted EPS that's above $1.57?
There is an adjusted EPS, Joe, and I know you always like that revenue number because it's so big because of the size and scale that Walmart has. So let me give you the results here. So Walmart is beating on earnings and revenues, reporting an adjusted earnings per share of $1.78 for the second quarter. That compares to estimates of $1.57 on revenues of $141.05 billion. The street was expecting $137.1 billion. So
Walmart seems like the world overall is trending. Walmart and Macy's in particular leading some rips. Macy's in particular 16.8%. Oh man. Amazon reportedly planning to open department stores, its latest experiment in physical retail. Okay, that is going to actually be a huge development. Remember, a lot of people buy the rumors, they sell the news. Good morning, Ivy Creek. How's it going? What's up, Steve J? Holy crap, what's next? Your wife thinks I'm a handsome data scientist. Well, that's very nice. That's very kind of her. That's the wholesome community that we got here. Okay, let's see. Amazon planning to open department stores. Can I open this article? WSJ, this is a Wall Street Journal article about retail locations. They're retail locations that resemble department stores. Right now, Alibaba had a huge sale this past week as well. Let's see if it's still down or up. Baba's still down. Baba has taken a trip and cannot get back up. $319 at its peak. This was only back in October of 2020, middle of the pandemic. Middle of October, 319. Alibaba, I would imagine, is going through massive oversold parts of its technical trajectory right now. You gotta move that rocket up, Juice's Ghost says. Push that right there. All right, back to AMC. Yes, that's how much technical analysis we've had on AMC for the past few, I guess, half a year, a full year then at this point. Alibaba challenges Amazon with a promise. Fast global shipping. This is a WSJ Wall Street Journal video.
AliExpress. Есть только одно приложение для распродаж.
The Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba has big global plans. One major goal.
This is a lot of copyrighted music, I think.
On the planet in 72 hours.
那整个每天的发货的单量是16万单。
Amazon and Alibaba are both looking to capture a larger share of the global e-commerce market, which is expected to grow by $1.4 trillion by 2025.
So you're basically looking at all this good, like, positive news, and then you're seeing the price drop because people are unclear. Options would be an interesting play. Long positions would be an interesting play, right? Not saying that I am personally invested. I don't think I have any in Baba, which is why I'm currently looking at it and being like, let's see. Yes, it says, dude, I love Macy's as a store. This makes me happy. Oh, that's very wholesome.
It's all execution. It's who's faster on the ground. It's who's focused where.
And fast shipping plus cheaper prices is a big part of winning new customers. Alibaba's fast delivery service is already gaining traction in European cities and working with Western delivery companies as it builds a shipping network different from Amazon's. Alibaba gave us a look at its largest automated warehouse in China as it plans to...
So you look at this company and you're like, oh, it fell 50% over the course of 6 months. Is 6 months? No, 10 months. fell 50% in the course of 10 months. And it has these little robots. And it services all of China, right? Chinese stocks on American markets has been contentious at best, right? So that's why you've been able to see huge dips despite a company that looks like this, right? Let's see. Brian says, hello, been following since June 2021. Yo, that's when I started YouTube. That's a long, long time ago. Name your favorite video before the AMZ and GME craze. Let's see now. Think 3 times on Baba. Yes, think think carefully. Think very, very carefully. All right, let's take a look at the options chain for AMC today. And then we'll take a look at Lux to see if this bullish pattern can turn back around. It was rejected by the VWAP just now, but still has an opportunity to bounce off of that simple moving average. Here's AMC's Lux Algo prescription on the hourly chart. Last time we saw a buy signal, still on that buy signal. Don't forget it. 13th of August was that last buy signal, 31.89. Solid. Look on the 1 minute chart. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Had that buy, had that strong sell. And now currently trending above the EQ band here on the minute chart, still is not a buy. Lux is being overly cautious today, especially since it is quite a outrageously fluctuating day. Look at that. There's that $400,000 worth of calls at $145 strike. I've looked at the premiums all the way out there. Tiny. Teeny tiny. Someone's always throwing those out on the far, far side of the options chain. What's going on, Duck Gang? Throw those ducks in the chat. How's it going? Good morning. Top of the morning to you. This is the options chain from yesterday. A lot of people putting their money on $38. $38 strikes. Hopefully they're not expiring this week. But if you wanted to be able to find out where AMC crazyawesomecompany.com, that is 48,000 calls, roughly 50, expiring tomorrow, August 20th, with an additional 30,000 more at $36. So $1.12 more price would get us a whole additional 30,000 more calls expiring in the money. Currently about 400,000 shares available to borrow. Okay. Let's see. Fee has been about 1.1%. Option data. Is there any week coming up? It seems absolutely humongous. The first week of January. This is not the first week. This is the third week. January 21st as an expiration. 136,000 calls, 174,000 calls out of the money, 136 in. Take a look at how overly bullish people were on this week. This is not a ratio you want to bring home to your mama. 374,000 calls out of the money, 48,000 calls in the money. That said, same thing with puts. People are just playing AMC aggressively on both sides and getting hurt out of the money, right? Calls that are out of the money hurts the price action upward. Puts out of the money helps the price action upward, hurts the price action that's trying to go downward. All right, let me just show you guys the Lux Algo here. As an obvious reminder, 20% off in the description, and it pays off. People have been saying, what have they been saying? Kenny G's blah 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 says, just so you're aware, been playing with 20K, made the full year's payment for Lux back in just 45 minutes. That's what I have on screen right now. Just shows you buy and sells. Very simple stuff. Put GME back up there. We know about the winners of the day. That includes Macy's and WDLF, but it's a penny stock, of course. Mostly Macy's then. Today's a Macy's kind of day. Good to have me back. Good to have you guys here. Happy to be here. What's going on? Fisher 619. We got Abraham Lincoln. Oh man, throwing those ducks in here. We got Mike Brown. We got Dorian Estrada. Look at NNDM. Ivy Creek says hashtag apes not leaving. Apes are not leaving. Nano Dimension down 1%. Is there a short interest that I would be interested in looking at? Here's a short interest for AMC. NNDM. Oh, it's on the NASDAQ. Nobody worry, it's on the NASDAQ. Oh, yeah, NNDM has almost double digits in short interest. What's up, Salah? Thank you for the generous super. I have a question for you. Is there going to be a cash out limit once AMC squeezes? Like, for example, let's say my portfolio reaches $1 million. Cool. Once I cash out, I will receive just 500K. I hope you understand my question. I think I understand it. There's as long as there are buyers, there will be executions, right? If there are buyers, there will obviously be sellers because people will be selling on the way up. Personally, on my strategy is selling on the way down. But you can never predict it. So if you wanted to optimize your exit strategy, I've already made a couple of videos. Search Andrew Mo exit strategy. Those videos are pretty cool. And I've even talked to Trades before about his ideas about exit strategy. That comes up pretty quick if you search it. Now, the most important question is, will you then have to only get either half of your money? Well, mechanically, yes, because of capital gains, taxes. You get all of the profits up front, and then you save some money for tax season to pay it. If it's enough money, you have to pay it quarterly. You have to pay it above earlier than you pay it each year. I am not a tax person, and nor am I a legal advisor. So I'm definitely not your legal advisor. So there it is. I'm not sure, Salah, but I don't think that you're going to. I don't think that your question is asking the right thing. It's about mechanically how much money are you bringing home, and at the end of the day, it's probably going to be closer to around half. Probably going to be closer to around half. But still, half of a lot of money is a lot of money. Half of the infinite squeeze. Let's do the math on that. Speaking of the math, 1,200 of you in here. Let's get this settled right now. We get 2,000 likes in this chat. You guys are giving free stuff. Free giveaway, some time, a one-on-one with yours truly, with me and Professor Meatball, or you guys get something from the swag store. We just opened, we found that the payment tool had been broken. The swag store is back up, andrewmomoney.com. Good morning, Scopio. What's up? If you bought something from like a couple of months ago, or like up beginning of June to now, you likely have not received it, or your order got canceled or something like that. Now I've figured out why. Oops. Oh, Esmeralda says, good morning, Meatball. Just stop to say hello and to drop a like. That deserves a Meatball trick. Meatball, can you do a donut for us? Donut. Yeah, donut. Good boy. One more. Donut. Donut. One more. One more donut. Donut. Good boy. Come on, donut. Come on, donut. Come on. Good boy. Awesome job. And if you want to see him stand or dab or do other tricks, that like button. The more likes we got there, the more apes we get in the chat, the more tricks Meatball can do. Calm Down says, I had to pay quarterlies, then lost more than I made in the year. That sucked. Can you imagine? Here's some money that I think I'm going to win. Don't worry, Uncle Polly's good for it. Uncle Polly sad. Uncle Polly down. BTS Sandwiches, broker only insures you for a certain amount. And yes, there are limits to how much you can take out of your account at once. Check with your broker. Oh, what's up, Scotty Boom? Good to be here. Mo Money, you expecting this boredom all day? Keep hearing about volatility increasing, but not seeing that in the chart. Well, not for midday. That makes sense. We're not here going crazy, going stupid. Oh, Mike Brown says, we want more of your time on stream. Well, in that case, yeah, same thing. You hit that like button, you get the engagement up. That is going to be making it a lot more receptive to content that Professor and I put on the internet. We don't want to saturate the markets too much. We don't want to put too much out there. We want to give you just the important bits. That should be the name of this broadcast. Just the important bits with dog and boy. Austin C. bought the dipper. What happening? All red. Yeah, Mello, this is a market pullback. Strong pullback if you've never seen it before. This is red all over. What is black and white and red all over? It is a cartoon version. Sorry, it is a 1920s movie. A silent film about the stock market right now. Jimmy Chua says, darn. Craving donuts now. Short interest on Lucid, yeah. By the way, all of this short interest I'm getting is from Ortex. Pretty easy to be able to get your own. It's in the description down below. Okay, I'm pretty sure Lucid is on NASDAQ. LCID. I think that short interest wasn't anything spectacular. I mean, it does exist. Here's Lucid's short interest. 7.91%. Nothing to scoff at. Nothing to scoff at. Stevie J is like number 391. Hell yeah. Baba Booey's in here. What's going on? Rocket says, what's the next support for AMC? That was the trifecta that we had been struggling on last week. 33.41 is the first one, 33.25, and then 33.07. 3 strong supports below, and the next level of resistance, one that we've been rejected by once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, $35 flat. $35 flat right now is the next level of resistance. I say next, but we really haven't broken past it at all today. Black Zeus says, welcome back, Andrew. Quote of the day. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Warren Buffett. Thank you, Black Zeus. I mean, cheat code. What are you talking about? We're talking about Lux algorithm, okay? Here's the Lux algo. Get your 20% off, right? Like I said. We had already crossed through these EQ bands, right? So you would imagine the reversal. So I'm teaching Meatball right now. Usually he teaches me, but usually you see a reversal band right here. This red band right here, we cross through. We get closer to the Bollingers on top. We get in danger of overbought. And then we reverse. Right now, it looks like we traversed up to the top of this Bollinger at $35. Sorry, top of this reversal band, this EQ band here. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. You can see that there's a red cloud right here. Top of this band comes down to the bottom of this band, then breaks out above it. This is bullish, but Lux doesn't think it's bullish enough to put a buy signal on. Okay, but there is the potential for the oscillator to teach us some more. Oh, Chris Abramo, thank you for the super. You guys are really warming my heart. My heart feels all full of cushions, and it just is a good time. Mount Rushmore of AMC. Heck yeah. What's up, Jimmy? Smoking or joking. Good to see ya. Top of the morning, real handy Manny. Resort Dog says, thimble full of blood. Alas, it is heart's blood. Blood from my heart, okay? I bleed just like everybody. Blood from the heart, and that's okay. $35 is the VWAP. VWAP has now consolidated over the last 10 minutes down to the price action. Remember, that VWAP was preventing that price action from ripping above it before. In fact, this entire day, even in the very beginning of the early morning, the VWAP has acted kind of like a warden for that price action. So in that sense, right now, consolidated with 35. And it's not going to go any lower if AMC is not going to go any lower. It's kind of like a game of tag, back and forth. Mad Hatter, what's going on? Here you go. Hats up, my brother, says Noble Trader. When you got that W, when you don't have the W on your keyboard, you gotta go hats up. Good to see you. What else are we looking at? Now dimension down 1.06. Remember, now is the time to be able to make some pretty sweet plays. Macy's, is it overbought? If it's overbought, that means that we're gonna have a good opportunity to either sell some calls or buy some puts, or you know, heck, it's your opportunity to take a look at companies that you think are either way too high on the upswing, way too low on the downswing. An easy way to get kicked out of some of your favorite positions, though. So make sure that you've done the research. All right, Spirit, 69% short interest. Let's look at SPRT. I'm gonna open up a new tab. SPRT, which I'm imagining is not going to be on a NAS. It's not going to be on NYSE. And I was right. Yes, SPRT is at 69% short interest. It's kind of fun. We ain't leaving, woohoo, says the Scopio. At this point, we don't even have a reason to leave. It's another day. It's another day. Another Meatball Andrew sandwich. Another BTS sandwich here. Here you go. It's announcing slowing key E bond buying yesterday. Hold on, if I can find a video about that. This is why I love you guys. This is why I love the Moon Platoon. You guys come in, you share your excellent knowledge. So this one goes out to, who is it? Oh, BTS sandwiches, my days aren't the same without you. Oh, man. So my schedule was going to be check at around 7:30 to 7:50 if I'm on. If I'm on, I'll be on for a couple hours. That's the goal. Every day, come into this channel and check, right? Sometimes YouTube will unsubscribe you or turn off your notifications. Make sure that they don't do that to you, okay? Check your subscriptions right now to see if you're still subscribed. And then you can also make sure that you don't miss out on notification, because the shadow banned YouTuber means that I can't reach out to you guys. And you never know when that's going to happen. So if you miss a day, that is because that bell button wasn't big. Smash. Smash. Okay, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get the key E bonds. Quantitative easing. Thought there was going to be something a little bit earlier than that about this. Toyota, Cisco, Whole Foods. Robinhood traders focused on Dogecoin. Okay, it looks like Jim has some thoughts about Robinhood and Dogecoin. I think that's a really fun article. I think we could talk about Eli Lilly. It's really fun to look at Kramer from 15 hours ago and see how wrong he is. That's a good hobby. Taiwan Semiconductors. I think that's a very important piece of every market, especially the auto market, semiconductors. Can we get that under control? If we can't, we don't have much under control, seriously. Talk about the next drop in GME? Sure, we'll talk about GME. GameStop currently bouncing off of the VWAP instead of being frenemies with it. Currently at the top side of the volumetric weighted average price, that orange line here. Next dip could be underneath this EMA. If you watch it cross under 155.44, that is 100% going to 154.65. Next level of support. Next level of support underneath that is 152.41. Watch the fact that we did bounce earlier at 153.55. No clear support at this level, but we do bounce earlier with lower volume. Okay, let's talk about Robinhood and Dogecoin.
So are you thinking of them, for example, the CFO told R.K. Rooney, I think, that the idea of them as a meme name doesn't resonate because they want to portray them as a growing, evolving, broader platform?
Robinhood was up double at one point of their IPO price. Now they're about right back to where they started. Maybe a little bit higher, maybe about 10% higher than where they started.
Do you see them like that, or are they basically a play on gamification and memes?
This is a quarter that they laid out a lot of very positive things about what could happen. But it's not happening yet. Right now, it does feel... I mean, if you're basing your business on opening accounts that are Dogecoin, that's not exactly opening your accounts with 5-year treasuries, with notes. It's also not opening accounts with mutual funds. It's not opening accounts with just...
He doesn't have a script. I started to realize that Jim Cramer has no idea what he's going to say next. American Zennial, Real Michael Kolinek. Hey, Andrew, I wanted to say thanks for the DD hard work. Us apes love you, my brother. Oh, my heart.
I think that they have to be careful. That's not as sustainable as you'd like. Now, I know that there are Dogecoin fans, but that's my least favorite that's everybody's least favorite of the cryptos, because it does seem a mockery of a sham.
As it was intended to be originally.
Yes.
Some argue. And
that's what they went for. Well, it's because it's low priced. And the irony of the call is that somehow they think this is fine. I mean, I was hoping that what they would do is say, and a lot of our younger investors are buying interesting companies like the genomic companies. They like the stocks that are, say, Ford. It seems to have made a turn. I like that. Instead, it's Dogecoin, and that's not the narrative that they were tracing before they were coming public. I think that the stock would not be where it is if they said, listen, people are opening accounts and they're opening it with Dogecoin. The stock just simply wouldn't be where it is. And I found it revelatory and somewhat sad. I was hoping it would not be this case because I do like the company so much. But Robinhood's customers demonstrated significant interest in cryptocurrencies, with over 60% of our net cumulative funded accounts trading in crypto. 60%. Wow. Yep. I mean, that's like, wow.
Yeah. And it's the whole narrative is something that you tried to talk to them about around the timing of the IPO. Take a listen to one more soundbite.
With what we've seen in retail investing over the past year is that a lot of these companies have been hit hard by the pandemic, right? And you see it started with some of the airlines, and then followed with some of the retailers.
Oh man, this young boy in Bulgaria.
Some movie chains and brick and mortar, right? And
Rick and Morty.
You have the institutions that are basically writing these companies off, and then retail investors coming in and keeping them up and supporting them. I don't know if people have understood the ramifications of what high retail participation in the markets means, but I think fundamentally it's a very good thing, and we're excited to be a part of it.
It's funny. It's kind of like Reddit CEO saying, it's amazing what happens when a bunch of people come together and talk. And he's like, it's amazing what happens when a bunch of people come together and stalk. I see what I did there, but no, that's a pretty blasé analysis for the CEO of Robinhood, Mr. Youngboy in Bulgaria, giving us his understanding of why Robinhood is sliding.
So he's clearly referring there to the meme play, the meme.
Yeah, well, look, the memes may keep it up. One of the most important things that I found, my daughter sends me this, by the way, the Robinhood Snacks newsletter. I call it, of course, the Pepper's Farm Goldfish newsletter.
Of course.
But then 24.6 million unique people in newsletter, up 171% year over year. Now, the only reason I mention that is because it's as close to research as they have. They're adding more things and getting more educational. They have to do these things, but and they want to be a single source of truth, and I get that. But they may have to educate people that while you might start, maybe Dogecoin's a gateway. It's almost like when my father used to say,
Dogecoin, the gateway crypto, the gateway investment. Suddenly you'll look at crypto and you'll be like, Doge. Heck yeah, I can stand to lose 30,000 to gain 30,000 the next day, and then on and on it goes. The Doge train never stops. Doge did. Hold on, let me just make sure if I get the prices right in my head. Let's get crypto back up here because it's the crypto's time to shine right now. All the cryptos are green. Oh, please. That is not the BTC I was looking for. Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin 3.6%. That's actually lower than its highs earlier. Seems to have. When did I put this support level up here? Seems to have disrespected that level entirely. 48,000 as early as the 16th. That doesn't feel great. Doge. This is Dogcoin. Dogcoin was at 35 cents earlier this week. 35 cents and change. And then finally ETH. Those are the three you should really pay attention to. If you have your favorite altcoin, of course your baby altcoins are precious and perfect, and they're exactly the coins that your parents said you should meet when you get a little older. Because the flagship coins have already all disappeared, and now these altcoins, one of them might be the one. See, that's the way people get into tricky logical fallacies. Okay. Same thing with penny stocks, same thing with altcoins. Be careful. Do your research. Boom. Market strategist breaks down Robinhood's earnings report. All right, one more Robinhood, and then we're never going to talk about it in this stream, at least.
But in the meantime, JJ Kinahan is chief market strategist at TD Ameritrade. So I love Robinhood. I love the democratization. I think it's great. You can't say anything about the apes or the Reddit traders. They call you like a bloated boomer or something. They come up with some horrible alliteration for you. But in that report that saw these huge revenue gains, they mentioned Dogecoin and meme stocks. Is that a sustainable business model in terms of revenue growth when those are the two things that you're really hanging your hat on?
Well, the one thing I will say is Robinhood has gotten people excited about the markets. That's good for everybody. They talked about the fact that this quarter may be a little bit slower. Well, traditionally in the brokerage business, this is a little bit slower quarter. So I think, one of the things that would be good for them and probably good for the industry is some other stories that help get people interested in the market again. You and Andrew just talking at the top of the show here about so much of the swirl that's going on currently that helps volatility. Well, Robinhood has a lot of folks who trade options, and so options traders love volatility. So if we start to see any type of sell-off, etc., you may get people interested in the market in a different way, and in terms of where they were before. The meme stock story has been a strange one all year long. I think we're all trying to figure that one out, Joe, in terms of what is the sort of spark that lights those that suddenly has people interested in trading those in a different way. So that's just very, very difficult to predict.
Mark Baptiste says, who are these fools? Oh, man. Ironic how all of the enemies support Robinhood. That's true. There it is. Oh, man. People have been calling Robinhood wrong for a long time. Jeez.
That, I think, though, like every brokerage firm, you did see their margin book grow a bit, etc. So those are the types of things I think you have to look for further.
Jessa says, Yosina, you're acting like Peacemaker. Is that a new thing? Is that trending on Instagram and Twitter? Speaking of that, we're trying to get this trending. Following Andrew Mo Money on Instagram and Twitter. We're giving some stuff out. And we'd like to just see you on Twitter, looking at 20,000 followers as the next goal on Twitter, 10,000 on Instagram.
Just if I were to just thinking through this and from the devil's advocate point of view, okay, so I don't know whether this is fluff. I don't know whether NFTs are fluff. I don't know whether the market itself is overvalued.
He doesn't know anything.
Fed. I don't know whether crypto is overvalued. I don't know whether meme stocks are. I don't know any of that. But the Fed might taper.
This man who doesn't know anything should not be hosting a broadcast where people are hoping that he understands something.
For someday. You also might not get another stimulus check that apparently some of that money was going into to some of these accounts. So take all that away. And what if we got into a market that wasn't quite as exciting, that was longer than a week or two. Like
Jessa says, made it up because I finally got to see Suicide Squad at AMC. Jessa, you can get something really trending. That's a catchy phrase. And also Suicide Squad. Heck yeah. At your local AMC if you haven't yet. Ooh. Chef's kiss.
I'm not thinking about 1974 or anything like that, or even 87. But what if we got into a market that just doesn't go up every day? What are the prospects and some of these, some of the areas of fluff, some of that comes out. What's the prospect? You think that they could attract people to buy puts, is what you're saying, or to play the downside of a market move at Robinhood?
Well, volatility affects options across the board. Calls and puts go up together, go down together. So with that, volatility gives people an opportunity in downward markets to do some things that, some strategies that you don't necessarily get to do when the market...
And that's true. This is an important takeaway, is that when the markets are suffering, you are a little kid on Christmas Day. Right? That's why in the beginning of the stream I said it's Christmas Day, because it is important to note that markets do go up, but the companies that have invested their time, their energy, and their money are the biggest ones to look at. Remember this, right? Alibaba down about 50% recently. Take a look once again at the chops they have, the warehouses, the markets they serve, right? Those are in the most dangerous of times, the clearest plays. All right, let's take another quick listen to what Alibaba challenges Amazon with. Why is it that the Chinese markets are in flux? But flux means opportunity in a medium to long term.
Speed up deliveries around the world.
我们总共有800台 AGV 我们这是平常的日常的。那目前我们整个人效是传统人工仓的大概有2倍左右。
Peng Tu oversees daily operations in this warehouse run by Alibaba's logistics company Cainiao. He says robots here do all the heavy work.
Robots. All right, no one has to take, and that's the fun part, is that when it becomes robots versus people who would like to pee longer than 45 seconds a day, it becomes a PR strategy as well.
人工走动一旦减少，那我们整个的这个效率就提升了。那我们点着点的这个搬运人就会降低，那我们的整个效率就提升起来了。
This efficiency helped Alibaba process $75 billion worth of packages during the company's largest sales event in China last year called Singles Day, which takes place over 11 days. E-commerce analysts say this was more than all of e-commerce sales during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Amazon's Prime Day combined.
Now that said, I don't have any Alibaba. I'm looking to have some. I don't know when I'm going to buy in, and you shouldn't watch me to try to buy in, but you should do your own research, especially on undervalued stock right now, right? Really important to be able to understand what is undervalued from fundamentals, technicals, and from a holistic standpoint. That's the point of this channel. Financial freedom in a heartbeat when you guys click that bell button and the subscribe button. That's the heartbeat. It takes like that, and it's $0.
But Alibaba isn't just an e-commerce company. It owns a vast empire of other tech businesses, and many of those parts help speed up the shipping process. So when you buy a product from its retail website, Alibaba's payment company can process the transaction and then the shipping is handled here. This network allows Cainiao to quickly gather information digitally about your package, including the price, weight, and destination, and then send it directly to Chinese customs to be cleared for export.
There you go. Makes it simple to cross the regulations, the red tape. Hey Maui Sam, how's it going, little Mo bro? You're here. Why is it so hard to find you? Get alerts from you. That's the YouTube algorithm. We've already gone through 4 cycles of being shadow banned over the last couple of months. So how long have I been at this? About 7, coming on 8 months. Yeah. Be careful. If you can't hear from me, make sure that you check in the channel every so often around 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. Watch it all the way until 11 Eastern. Maui Sam is buying more. Heck yeah. Not that I'm giving you any indication that that's a good or a bad strategy. Adam says slower quarter. That dude said Robinhood needs to get people interested in trading, like that will solve their bleed. Shouldn't have stabbed retail in the back. That's true. That's true. Oh, a treat. Here you go. Here you go. All right. 2 more minutes of this video.
Over the years, this process has gotten faster, from taking 1 month to clear a package to now only a few minutes.
Every year, we set very aggressive experience improvement targets.
William Xiong is in charge of making sure your packages take the most efficient route. The company relies on a global network of 3,000 partner airlines, postal services, and other delivery companies to handle the actual transport. This allows Alibaba to expand its shipping routes with new partners without having to build and maintain its own fleet.
We are running
it's basically they're like essentially bouncing all the responsibilities to an outsourced group every opportunity they have. So it's kind of like, what is it kind of like? It's kind of like the Bionic company, where they have all these prosthetic parts of the company that isn't technically theirs, but they still are able to get a good amount done, right? That's scrappy. That's Silicon Valley lifestyle for a couple of these companies here. So, okay. That is a little bit of the fundamentals on where these e-commerce giants are going from Wall Street Journal. All right, a little bit about Macy's. There's 30 seconds about Macy's. What is going on with Macy's? Up 17% earlier, 16.5%.
Macy's reporting results for the second quarter, raising guidance for fiscal 2021. Companies earning an adjusted $1.29 per share. That's versus an estimate of 19 cents. Company also reinstating its dividend and announcing a $500 million buyback. Take a look at that stock this morning because it's moving higher, about we'll call it 6 points higher, though it's moving down just a bit there. Former Macy's chairman and CEO Terry Lundgren will be joining us in the next hour to. Okay,
let's take a look at that. But pay attention to the fact that that was 6%. Now it's at 16% in a few hours. Oh man, excuse me. That was 30 seconds. Macy's. Former Macy's CEO on earnings. Oh, never mind. We already saw that. No one cares about that, apparently. Let's see. Colleges offer tuition insurance. Viacom shares jump on bullish call by Wells Fargo. Is Robinhood a one-trick pony? Gosh, Robinhood is like the stuff to talk about because it's just so much loss prone. I'm not gonna say what the second word is, but when you lose, and people expected you to lose, people want to watch you lose. Macy's good short interest too, yeah. Let's see, what is that? Macy's, the short interest here. 13.79%. Macy's looking like a snack for many reasons. Can I take all of this and move it down here? Yeah, heck yeah. That's the 69% short interest on SPRT, 18% on AMC, and so on and so forth. Bitcoin going up a lot. Crazy, says Stealthy. Yeah, we just talked about that a second ago. Let's see. How was my trip? I have not gone on a trip except to the Yosemite this past weekend, and that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Rocket says, what is the next level support for AMC, brother? Says Rocket. Rocket, we got AMC support at 154.60. Sorry, that's Jamie. We got support at 34.51, which is where we are bouncing off right now. One green candle. Can we just get one boom boom, please? Just get one boom boom candle in the chat right now, and then the next level at 33.41. You don't want to go there. Although we have been supported earlier today, specifically at 34.34. Twice dipped down to that level, so that is a confirmation. We liked 3 touch points, but this flash confirmation of 34.34 is pretty compelling. But right now, you can guarantee that 34.51 is a level of support. We bounced off earlier today, bouncing off right now as we speak, and that $35 is the level of resistance. So 34.50 to $35. To bounce off multiple times. Let me see if I can track this and take a picture. I'm trying to do more live charting for the Twitter audience as well. Strong bounce after a double top. So there's that M pattern here. Oops. Just gonna do a happy little technical analysis right here for AMC. Clear it. Okay. Double top. 1, 2. Moving into a bounce. Okay. Now I take a picture. Here. Right at 34.35, boom. And then that goes on Twitter. That's how it works, guys. While you take this time, go make sure that you guys have already followed on Twitter. Crunchy Cookie says, let's go, TA. Bounce incoming off of 34.50. AMC technical analysis. Whoa, hold on. Get this over here. AMC technical analysis. Bounce off of 34.50. After double top at $35. Watch these 2 levels for rest of day. Hashtag AMC squeeze. Hashtag AMC party. You know what I'm saying? Apes. Apes not leaving. Tweet. Tweet twat. That Auntie says that arrow should be straight up. Watch it bounce off the simple moving average now that we're over it. Tom, I need to do more research on Baba. I don't know. Might be. Honestly, it could have been last week, but then I would be 5% down, and I wouldn't be happy about that. A 5% down compared to another 100% up, because Baba was worth 300. Everyone agreed it was worth 300 X, Y, and Z in the middle of October. What's the difference now? All right, coming on down to the simple moving average. Let's see a bounce. 7% Celsion. Okay, let's take a look. Honestly, you shouldn't call yourself. You shouldn't call your company sell anything. Okay, all right, I see you. I see it. I'm in agreement. Oh, my laptop. It's my new laptop. I precariously put things on the edge of tables far too often. Far too often. This is a crying shame. What up, y'all? This is Matt C. How's it going? Let's go, AMC, says Raul. Saludos, apes. Space Ape says, look at Didi. Perfect example. Shutting Fox says, never too late to buy AMC. Absolutely. Not as financial advice. That's just fun. Fun adage. Let's see. Can't wait for my pet goat, says Numbers Letters. I can't wait either. More than half of Gen Z investors admit to trading while drunk. Fun. This is the news that should be really... It's taking up so much space. You're taking up space in the news cycle. Excuse you. Although that's, to be fair, some pretty fun news to read. Let's see. That sound hurt me, says RP Joey. Yeah. Let's see if this is it. They make them strong. Yep, it's fine. At least it still functions. Gerald says, still trying to still tying somewhere to buy TAAT. Crunchy Cookie says 1,000 likes LFG. Thanks guys for making that math make sense. You gotta try. Every day, if that math makes sense, we're happy. 250 more. Remember at 2,000, you guys getting it. You guys getting prizes. James says, no ape orders in the books that I can see. Very few. Market strategist breaks down Robinhood's earnings report. Oh, you know what? Here's
Here to break all this down, Terry Lundgren.
Here's the former Macy's owner. Macy's is currently up 16.5%. Former Macy's CEO is here to talk about it.
Former Macy's CEO and chairman. He's now CEO of TJL Advisors. When you saw the numbers, Terry, this morning, were you surprised at how big a boost it was to, well, the quarter just ended was much better, but also for the year, really doubling the forecast for adjusted earnings per share. Were you expecting that?
I was expecting it to rise. I was expecting, all these brick and mortar based retailers to rise significantly, but they exceeded my own expectations as well, Joe. So I was encouraged by the numbers that you just read.
What do you think these are? What do you think that is? Are these like golden salt and pepper shakers? What are these, like Matryoshka dolls, but they're gold?
Just discussed here, both at Macy's and Kohl's, and before that, even Target was excellent also. So they're very encouraging numbers.
I mean, Terry, I'm planning a trip to a hotel up on the moon based on believing what Jeff Bezos says and does is always going to be the right thing. I don't doubt anything he says he's going to do. What is he thinking? And he's not running it, obviously, but what's Amazon? What is the benefit to them getting into brick and mortar?
Well, if you'll dial back to our earlier conversations, not just months ago, but years ago, I'm actually a little surprised that it's taken Amazon this long to come out with this announcement, because the majority of the business, I mean, by the way, Amazon does half of the online business in America, so they are the powerhouse to reckon with. But they recognize that still the large majority of business takes place in physical stores. They want their share of that. So that's where their next, horizon they're headed for that next horizon. It
is true that Amazon is also off of a significant high in July at 37.50. It has dropped. What is that? That's like 20%. 20-ish% since July. That's a big hit. It's a big hit. Almost like the hit from the previous, but the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. At the very beginning, Amazon also fell. I bought in a bunch. 50% my investment in a year. Less than a year? Slightly less than a year.
Of capturing more share, and it's got to come from brick and mortar.
Helps with clothing, but they talked about some other things too. But clothing is a big part of that, I guess, isn't it? It's people do it online, but there's certain things you probably want to go into a store for.
Well, clothing is very profitable as well. Done right, clothing can be much more profitable than the home furnishings business. Faster turns, better margins, all of that, and so they definitely want more of their share. And they're going and to get that, the actual online experience of purchasing apparel, particularly on the women's side of the business, is not particularly pleasing because 40%.
You talked about pairs. Kohl's is still at that 6.5%, while Macy's has gone above and beyond to 15% up, 16%. So I'm gonna put Macy's back up, make sure that you guys know, and then back to AMC. Let's make sure that we take the rest of this man right here.
Of apparel that gets bought online,
he said it again.
Gets returned. So there far less product gets returned if you actually go into the store, try on the product, feel the fabric, and know how it fits you and looks on you. And so I definitely think that that's a much more profitable way to do business in the apparel business. So I'm sure they're looking at that as well.
Well, let's go back to talking about Macy's. Other than responding to the current situation with COVID, how is that company positioned just in general for the future? And you try to do a lot in terms of closures and just staying in the best places. How is the company positioned right now for the future?
How is he going to know?
Yeah, I think Macy's in particular is positioned very well, not only for all of the good work that they have been doing under Jeff Gannett in the last year and a half while this period of uncertainty has taken place. Macy's has not slowed down. They've made the proper investments. They've focused on getting the company lean and in the right place. They've gotten rid of stores that frankly were cash flow positive but didn't have a big future in terms of top line growth. So they've made a lot of these hard decisions. The fact, Joe, that they've announced that they're going to start up their dividend payment and buy back shares, which they've had a pause on that subject now for many quarters, I think is a vote of confidence that the board and Macy's has made about the future of their opportunities. And also, I want to point out that there's been a lot of lack of stability in their direct competition.
That's why you want to build your vocabulary every day. All right, read a book. Read as many books as you can, otherwise you'll see instability on live TV. But that's the point, is that when they asked what is Macy's next direction, he's like, yeah, it seems like Macy's, fundamental play, blah, 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 right? Very similar to what Adam Aaron says when people ask about AMC's next fundamental play, even though a lot of the price action is divorced from the fundamental. So in that sense, where can we expect to be able to actually focus? This is a meme stock. This is a stock because this is a comeback stock. Like the markets are suddenly opening up and everyone wants to go out to Macy's again. Probably a little bit of both. Okay. Cannabis stocks going higher on bet of U.S. legalization. If that does happen, we've been waiting for that since January. So we've been waiting for that since January. People have asked about Afria, about Sundial, about Tilray. Honestly, at the end of the day, really, it's about whether or not legalization comes in. It's about the regulations in place. So 2 minutes about that.
Squawk on the street, pot stocks in the green and heading higher this morning. Frank Holland has more on the move.
Why did she say that?
Hey there, Morgan. Tilray and MedMen shares, as you mentioned, trading higher. MedMen actually up about 24% right now.
Whoa.
After they reached a deal for the Canadian operator to have the
Trading
option
higher.
to acquire a 21% stake in the U.S. multi-state operator with just about $120 million in annual sales. Now, this move is designed to position Tilray for U.S. legalization, if and when that happens. And it follows moves with very different financial structures, apples and oranges, by both Canopy and Aurora, but with the exact same objective, creating a supply chain for production and distribution in the U.S. Canadian operators, while they're traded on U.S. exchanges, they just can't sell their product here. The Canadian market, while fully legal at the federal level, is really just a fraction of the U.S. market. Canadian operators have even branched out to Europe, Israel, and South America, but still, the U.S. market, that remains the holy grail. For example, California alone, bigger than the rest of the global market combined, all of them put together. So right now, the U.S. market is dominated by the use of cannabis flower. Consumable cannabis, only about 11%. But Tilray CEO Irwin Simon and others have made it clear, cannabis consumer packaged goods are where they see the growth opportunities. Simon discussing it yesterday on Closing Bell.
I like companies that have great brands, and you think about it here, it today has 25 retail stores, and ultimately upon legalization, the opportunities of store within a store, and one day I hope you see a MedMen and a Target and a Walmart.
So right now you want to keep an eye on the MSOS Pure U.S. Cannabis ETF today. At the beginning of the year, it really spiked on the thoughts that these U.S. operators would have a clear advantage if and when U.S. legalization happens. It's fallen sharply since, but right now up almost 2%, following a 2% drop yesterday.
Oh, this is an ETF commercial.
Struck. Is that a sign or a signal that perhaps we're much closer than had been, at least at the beginning of the year, anticipated in terms of this becoming a federal change in law?
Well, you know, obviously Tilray hopes so, but I think the other thought here is just positioning if and when it happens. Not clear if it's going to happen during this administration or in the near future, but it's thought to be eventual.
Wow, they stopped the egg outros. What if that happened? Huh? The stream just stopped? Like, just kidding. There will be an outro. We will see an outro yet. Fed is going to have to wait until September data. Ooh. So people are really wondering what the next move for the Fed is. It's a fairly good question. China's president says wealthy should give back more to society. That should make every wealthy person pretty uncomfortable. They're like, uh-oh. Give back more. Oops. Let's see. But what is wealthy? What does wealthy look like? That depends. Because usually when it comes to paying big taxes, it's the middle class that gets the brunt of it. Relatively. In terms of total amount of money they get to bring home. Don't get too complacent. Tilray announces new deal with MedMen. Okay, that's what happened. And yet Tilray is still down. Even though that report from earlier today said that it was up. Annoying. All right, Fed.
She's former Fed governor and former deputy Treasury secretary, and she's also a visiting professor at Duke University School of Law and a CNBC contributor. So Sarah, we spoke with this yesterday. Steve was kind of all over this, telling us what he thought was going to be happening and where things look like they'll be headed next. And really, it doesn't seem that extreme. Maybe it's not a surprise or anything that people weren't already anticipating.
I think that's right, Becky. You've got to keep in mind that Chairman Powell has made it abundantly clear that there is going to be a lot of signaling before the taper begins. And I think what we're seeing in these recent speeches and these recent movements is just that. It is the beginning of a very well choreographed and intentional set of moves, set of signals that will eventually culminate with Chairman Powell himself indicating the announcement of a taper. Now that is, he has not done that yet, and he hasn't even said he is going to do that yet or when it's happening. But what I think we are seeing and what I think markets should understand is that this is part of that slow rollout.
Does the next jobs report matter? And you know, the last two have been incredibly strong. Maybe we're anticipating that we'll get strong numbers once again, but it's not just that. It's also the inflation data that we've seen that's been kind of baked into this. We know that things are probably not going to shut down as they did with the earlier COVID variants. So if you're looking at all of those issues, if we get a weaker read with the next jobs report, would that be enough to put this whole plan on hold?
Well, more data is always better, particularly in this period of time where we are really, from an economic perspective, in unprecedented and uncharted territory. So waiting for data is always the prudent thing to do. And my instinct is that the Fed is going to want to wait for data, and they're going to look at it and very carefully, as they always do. And why they would make a move prior to September data is probably, I think of low probability. So more data is better, and data of all kinds: the unemployment side, the whole labor market, all of the contours of the labor market, and of course what is happening on the inflation side.
Hey, Steve, just in terms of
This
the
is
timing
not the
of
right
this,
stock.
you have to think it's because of Jackson Hole coming up, and that may not be an announcement that comes before that, but it's going to be hard for Chairman Powell to get away without talking about these issues, and maybe this is the best way to sort of ease into whatever his comments are going to be.
I mean, at some point you have to think that the idea that there's always going to be some big event in Jackson Hole has gone beyond coincidence. But at this point, I don't think Jackson Hole forces the Fed's hand. I think what's happened, Becky, is the data's changed. You got jobs data that was better than expected, almost 2 million jobs over 2 months. The inflation data coming in hotter than expected, especially that producer price index, and the Fed saying, look, where's the risk? The risk is that inflation will be higher than we expect, and that's what they've moved. They're moving to address that.
So inflation doesn't just play off of like your mortgage, although it does. But it's not just your mortgage, it's every single piece of the market getting additional weight, getting dead weight lost added on every single part of it. And so in that sense, if you think it's hard to get around now, we'll just wait until the Fed comes around and makes a decision about what the US dollar is worth. Every single investment you make is a hedge against inflation. You're essentially betting that inflation will not happen by keeping your money in a savings account, which is why you should go out and maybe plug some of that money into something that gets you similar returns to the market without having the same like detriment to yourself. You could try and, let me see if I can find it here. You could try and put it into BlockFi, right? $250 of free Bitcoin and 7.5% short interest. So once again, that is in the description. It's where I keep a good portion of my portfolio because 7.5% return, that's enough for me, right? By doing nothing, no decision making, no nothing, no nookie. I like it a little bit. I like that. So, and you can also be able to start trading crypto, keep your money in stablecoin, even if you don't want to. Even if you are afraid of inflation, but you don't really understand it, just understand this. The US dollar is constantly decreasing in value. So it's a stock in that sense. It's a stock that then you have to hedge against, at least diversify the amount of money that you have. So that's one. Other way is to be able to start investing in the actual markets themselves. And that could be crypto, that could be anything else you want. You want a guide. You don't want to go out there by yourself. It's kind of like take this from Zelda, take Lux Algo, 20% off, and you get to be able to get the buy and sell signal so that you don't end up guessing when it comes down to the most important pieces. So 20% off with the code AndrewMoMoney. Looks like this, right? You get your strong buys, your strong sells. It is easy to use, and it slaps onto a free version of TradingView. Super simple. Simple stuff. Let's see. Are we done with that conference? Yeah, that was it. Sweet. Meatball's like, oh.
And Josh, yes, the context is we're what? 1.3.
Josh. There's a healthy skepticism about China's investments. That sounds cool. Kramer's lightning round. He would buy some Tesla right now. Let's see if he was right. Come on, I just want to see. This is just for my guilty pleasure.
Mad Money Lightning Round is brought to you by TD Ameritrade.
No free advertising.
It is time.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. You know what? Now that I've started to think, I'll hear all the sound effects. Maybe it's not time. Maybe it's not time. Maybe I'm not ready for that emotionally. All right. Jim Cramer sees opportunities to buy the dip. Obviously, when you see a dip, you want to buy it. The apprehension comes from whether or not this is the bottom of the dip. Macy's up to 18% now. 18% up on the day. AMC still on that $34.50 $5 mark. Like I said, I tweeted out a couple of minutes-ish ago. Oh, cool. Hey, Andrew, not sure if others got it as well, but one of your YouTube ads was for a free Charles Payne masterclass this Tuesday afternoon. I'm not sure if that is legit. I don't know. I was like, that's so cool. And then I'm like, wait a second. Let's have a healthy amount of skepticism for every ad you see. Every advertisement. Seriously. Do your own research. Just look into it. When I talk about Lux, when I talk about Coinbase, sorry, not Coinbase. When I talk about Lux, when I talk about BlockFi, it's important to be able to look into it yourself. Yeah, no? JMS shares is like, ha ha ha. Hold on, someone said, Chris Roberts said something funny earlier. Chris Roberts said a long time ago, he said, he said something really funny. No, I can't find it. The more I scroll, the more my brain was like, you'll find it. You don't have to remember. And now I can't remember what he said. Let's see. The Kramer's a little weasel. Yeah. Yes. Every day I look at Meatball and I'm a little happier. If you guys wanted that happiness and you didn't want to miss out, look at his face. He can't go wrong with a little extra Meatball in the day. Let me see. See the opportunities to buy the dip. See if I can look at that Tesla chart to see where we are. 1.45% down. He called Tesla earlier. Hey, you want to take a break? Oh, will I break even? Will I break even? Oh, I broke even 4 days ago. I broke even 4 days ago, and now I'm back to where I was. First, I was afraid. I was petrified. Then Papa Elon told me, come on in and take a ride. I spent so many nights thinking that Tesla was going to stay around 150s so that I could survive. But I just now trying to stay alive. That's a good song because it's about outer space. LM says, there is no volume. There is no volume. We're looking at 26.25 million volume. I think that's one of the lowest we've seen in a good amount of time. El Rodriguez says, if you are not a hedge bot, just say it. I'm pretty sure hedge bots can also say hedge bot. I am not a hedge bot. Let's see. Give Meatball a Meatball. Wanna come down here, bud? What do you need? Wanna go outside? Alrighty. Intense. New posting schedule is gonna be like 7:30 PST. 7:30 PST, check in. 8 a.m. PST, check in. And just check the channel. Check the channel and see if I'm here. That's the best way to make sure that I'm here. But yeah, no matter what, checking around 9:30 and 10. That's 9:30 or 10 Central, or 10:30 and 11 Eastern. That's not slurping, that's straw. Straw did that. Options. Bid, ask. Wow, look at that change. Look at how the options chain is getting expensive. So we hardly play with the options tool on Webull, because options not good for the squeeze. But if you wanted to play options on a different stock, you should be able to get familiar with the interface. Jessa Bell says, join the Discord if I see he's on. I'll send out a mass post. That's the ticket. Jessa is a wonderful mod. She's pulling the mod weight, and she would like you guys to come on over to Discord. You know, press that join button next to the subscribe button. Press that Patreon link in the description. There's a lot of ways to be able to do it. On Number Letter says, I'm kind of depressed without this channel. Oh no, just because we got dog and we got jokes and we got fun, we got camaraderie. SA says, is Luxalgo good? Yeah, it's good. It's very accurate. Is the sneaky part of it. Autopilot, scary accurate. Any good technical news today? Well, it looks like we're stuck at underneath the VWAP because we've been trending underneath that orange line almost the entire day. Basically the whole day. Let's see. Okay, let me clean this up a little bit here. Okay. Green Beans says you need better clipboard sound. Honestly, that's pretty substantial. I like nice fat clicky sound. Andrew's nostrils expand and retracts when he types. What did that keyboard do to me? I should probably listen to my own keyboard and see and notice how loud it is. Hey, thank you guys for watching this show. We went an hour and a half today. We'll go like 2 hours next time around. Thank you guys for watching. We got Webull up here for 2 free stocks. Don't use them as a broker if you want to be against payment for order flow. If you want 4 free stocks and free level 2 data. That Moo link is the first one in the description down below. Thank you guys for checking out. LuxAlgo gives you the buy and sell signals for 20% off. That $250 of free Bitcoin. Now's the time with Bitcoin going absolutely insane. Get it in the description and get your 7.5% interest, better than any savings account. Just basically, if you have your money in a savings account, you're just giving the banks money to invest in the market themselves instead of you making money. And 7.5% is what you should be earning. Thank you guys for watching this show. My name was Andrew. It's going to be Andrew tomorrow, and it's going to be Andrew for the video coming out later today. So make sure that you guys, this is the one call. I'm trying to get up to 120,000 subscribers. Would love for you to be part of this financial freedom journey, and that is your call to action. Make sure that you do click that subscribe and that bell. All right, that's it. See you guys in the money. Peace.